So, good morning. This is Tuesday. We're at the beginning of the year. As some of you may have noticed, I have been promoting. Uh, there's some orphanages, in Africa and other places where they're just not getting their needs met. So, I wanted to get on here and talk about um, how we got here. How did we get to where we're at right now? Right. Uh, it's important to think about this psychologically because this is something that happens individually with everyone. You have to think about what are you doing in your day-to-day lives and why are you doing it. So, business coaches and consultants, you help businesses make money. Well, when you think about the larger organism, we've got people that aren't getting their needs met. Let's say, and I've talked about this before, you've got Portland, Seattle, a bunch of people are living in the woods, working day to day, making food, and their needs are not getting met. Why is it that when we go to work, our needs aren't getting met? You have to ask yourself that question. Uh, I just had a meeting with somebody, and we talked about how a lot of people, you know, work is the leading cause of death. When you look at it from a psychological standpoint, because people are going to work, their work environments are very highly stressful. Why are they highly stressful? For one thing, why are we connecting ourselves in a way that's causing us stress? That doesn't make any sense. Um, and that stress creates wasted energy. That wasted energy isn't serving anybody, right? It's not meeting anybody's needs. If you're trying to control somebody else's behavior or providing for, that's not providing for anybody, right? If we ever try to control somebody else's behavior. And so on the world stage, when we look at the world stage, we just see a lot of people trying to control each other's energy. People are fighting each other, right? Why are we trying to control what that person is doing? Why do I care? I should be listening to what they need. What do you need? And then providing for what they need. It's really that simple. That's how your body works, right? So when you look at the world as a larger organism, why are the needs of the body not being met? Right? That is our jobs as coaches and consultants. That's our priority, right? What are your needs, and why are they not being met? So when you think about the larger organism, we have to think about what are the needs of the larger organism and why are those needs not being met? And I can tell you the number one thing of why those needs aren't being met is because people are serving money and they're not serving each other. Now you could say, well, I'm helping somebody with this and then they're giving me money. And it's like, okay, well, what specific need are you meeting for that person? Are you giving them food? Are you giving them shelter? Are you helping their psychological condition? Right? These are the three things. Our mental state decides how we serve one another. What are we creating in society? So as a society, nothing's being created anymore. There are less and less things being created. More time and energy is being pushed into creating software and devices that are, you could say that some of those pieces of software and some of those devices are facilitating communication, which is fine, but how is that communication facilitating people's needs being met? Is my need being met to give me a game on my phone to waste my energy? Because I'm not creating anything by doing that. I'm not creating food, shelter, emotional support for the people around me by doing that, right? So by serving money in and of itself, you're wasting your energy because money was created to control the energy between you and me, right? I mean, if you think about it, if I lived in a village and, just think about how the Native Americans lived 200 years ago, before anybody got here, there was no money. There was a trade system, right, in place. And you can say, well, money takes the system of trade. But there were self-sufficient tribes that would, you know, didn't own anything. They believed that the land was not theirs, which something that, you know, I may or may not believe in. I'm not going to let you know about that one. But when you think about how that society worked, it was very functional, right? They took what they needed. They didn't take more than what they needed because the world was, there's just this abundance everywhere. And so, you know, we have a lot of abundance coaching now. And that's fine. But if you are abundance coaching serving money, then there's a lot of people that can't afford abundance coaching. And you can say, well, I firmly agree about this one. It's like, okay, well, just believe and your needs will be met. It's like, well, okay, but somebody has to fill that role to move in to make someone's needs met, right? People living somewhere where their children are starving and they don't have enough shelter, if they just sit there and believe without reaching out or doing anything, you know, hopefully, yeah, an angel will show up and meet their needs, you know, if you just sit there and meditate all day long. But eventually somebody has to do something, right? Somebody has to deliver something. Now, for me personally, I've never felt like I need anything, right? I'd be happy to just strip myself bare, go walk off in the wilderness and live in the jungle for the rest of my life. But then, you know, in a way, I'm not meeting the needs of the people around me. So we need to think about why we're at where we are at, why we are there, and start creating systems and start creating ideas where we are creating things for each other that are meeting our needs, right? Because if you're creating something for somebody that's not meeting a need, then you're not really meeting the needs of the organism. You're kind of wasting your energy, right? I mean, all of us can look up all day long about, you know, meditation techniques. There's so much material out there. I don't feel like I need to teach meditation techniques or how to quiet your mind. Now, it is important to learn how to control your energy and not, you know, waste your time on something. Make sure you're creating something for the people around you. And so, I guess at the end of this live video, I would like to propose, if you are a software engineer or a legal person, I would love to talk to you. You know, if you have any ideas as far as, and I have ideas as far as creating pieces of software so that people can plug into systems where they can just say, hey, look, this is what I'm creating for the community. Maybe you love to build houses. Maybe you love to grow your own food. Think about the things that we create right now for money when it comes to housing, food, shelter, power production. All of those things are built around money instead of meeting the needs of the people around them. And that's why our food is so terrible. That's why our housing looks cookie cutter, right? A true craftsman, a true carpenter, if he loves or she loves to build houses for other people, it's going to be a one-off. It's going to be a beautiful piece of work. And so they were meeting the needs. Not only that, but they're in their artistic element. When you're creating things for the people around you, it's beautiful. When you're creating something for money, it's not. I'm sorry, but it doesn't taste good. And if it does taste good, it doesn't fill you up, right? I mean, go to McDonald's. Oh, it's just terrible. Now, maybe you like McDonald's. I don't know. Maybe it has some caloric value. I doubt it, but maybe it does. I don't know. For me, you know, I haven't eaten at McDonald's for years because I feel like I could eat 10 cheeseburgers and never get it, you know, filled up. Anyway, doesn't matter. So think of it that way. You know, what need are you meeting for the people around you? And so going forward, from a psychological standpoint, all of us, including myself, need to think about what am I doing to meet the needs of the people around me? And what are those needs? And right now, the need is great. I don't know if you've been paying attention, and the reason is because people are trying to control other people's energy. And when you are trying to provide something for other people for money, you're trying to control their energy, right? You're trying to pull energy from that person to meet your need. Now, it's okay to provide a service for somebody and get an equal exchange of energy. But is there an equal exchange of energy there if you're constantly selling something to somebody that doesn't have any money? The people that I just loved you just look at the overarching system and why we are at where we are at. All you have to do is think about, you know, either the three areas that we're protecting to make sure that we're providing for each other from a sustenance standpoint, you know, our emotional health, our physical well-being, which includes, you know, good food, good shelter. Um, the rest is all secondary and entertainment based. And unfortunately, right now, our society is so geared towards entertainment and not meeting the three basic needs of society. It's no wonder that there's people not in good health all over the globe, you know? And it has less to do with, uh, we just need to meet each other's needs, right? And so if um, if this resonates with you, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn because there are ways that, you know, I can't do it alone. There's no way that the needs of everybody out there, I mean, obviously I can try and exacerbate the point, let everybody know that this is the need, but then you need a team of people to create something. For one thing, we need to create a system where people can plug into it and say, this is what I'm going to provide. And then you'll know whether or not the thing you're providing is needed as to whether or not people are requesting it, right? The best thing to do is to plug into a system where you can see the needs that are there and then just pick which one you're going to meet. Because right now in our society, you're just saying, okay, what it is that I am going to provide, and then, you know, that's what is needed. Well, you have to listen first, because if you're not providing in a relationship, if I'm married and I'm not listening to my wife and meeting her needs, then what am I doing? If I just presume what she needs, then she's probably not going to be fairly unhappy with me, right? I mean, I want to listen to what she needs. I mean, sometimes she's got to be vocal, right? And so a lot of time, you know, we need to plug each other into systems where we're vocalizing, hey, look, this is what I need. And this is what I need. And so for me, I need your support to help build systems where we can vocalize our needs and say, look, these are the needs that I need to be met, my basic needs. And there are people that have their basic needs are not being met because because we are not listening to the needs of the body. This is an awareness video. I hope you guys understand why we are at where we're at. And it's because we're not focusing on each other's needs, right? We're just focusing on our needs. And that's not creating healthy relationships. What are your needs? There's nothing wrong with you, right? And you know, if you're trying to fix people, there's nothing wrong with people. They just need their needs met. And so I can't tell you what your needs are. You need to tell me. And when I've listened, people have reached out and told me what their needs are. And now I'm telegraphing that to you because I cannot meet that need. And so when somebody asks for a need, then it's my job to make sure that I vocalize that to the rest of the body and tell you guys what needs need to be met. Anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one. Happy Tuesday and happy beginning of a new year.